All right, I'm going to keep my camera off for a moment, but I am going to share what we have for what Jay has recorded, which is what I'll call our video library. So if you want to see any videos, just let me know in the comments and I can play them. But right now I'm waiting for Jay to actually go back out. His plan is to go back out to stage 6 because squad 304 is going to be coming through there. And squad 304, if you have not heard, is Mark Schulte, Corey Shield, Riley Fox, Corey Messersmith, David Richmond, Anthony Zabonic, Tegan Richmond. So Alex Kate shooting limited optics, Matthew Zeller shooting carry optics, and Brandon Cromwell shooting limited optics. So I'm just waiting to get a little bit more footage, have more stuff to talk about. I'll probably be throwing Practice Score Competitor app back up on the screen shortly too, because now that we're starting to progress through the afternoon, there should be some changes that we can discuss. So that's what's going on at the moment. That's why this is just going to be a static screen. Again, I'll go in and make another comment that if you want to see a video, just comment and I'll throw it up and we'll watch it. All right, so I'm back on. Jay didn't have time to get back on the stream before he headed back out. Squad 304 is doing their walkthrough on stage 6, and Riley Fox is first up. So we'll have to see how that is going. Let's just go back to overall. All right, I'm going to change this screen out. We're going to go back to Practice Score Competitor app. There we go. Let's go to PCC. Okay, we do have high available, so checked on. All right. And it looks like so let's see. Oh, this is where I'm not sure what the issue is with the app, but when I'm looking at overall stage scores and then go to the squad, the score didn't show up yet, but Riley Fox has apparently already completed stage 6. So he has completed 4, 5, and 6 at this point and seemed to do fairly well on that one. So we'll have to wait and see what we get in from Jay to see how the stage actually went for him in the execution phase. Aha. And there it is. Let me see if. Oh, okay. All right, so we're going to switch screens again. Here we go once again. There we go. Maximize it. There we go. Okay, here we go. Riley Fox, PCC Grandmaster, Stage 6, Buckeye Blast.
Are you ready? Stand by.
Okay, we're going to watch that again, this time at half speed. But I want to point out something before we go any further. Look at the fault lines. When we watched the video earlier today of Tanner Donges, and Kayla Mullen. There was gravel within the fault lines, within the shooting area. Now you have specks of gravel in the fault lines. The rest is all water. So this is looking like Florida weather here. The good thing is it's gravel and not sand and mud. But let's watch it back at half speed.
Are you ready? Stand by.
It looked like he wanted to pull off that last paper target to make the transition left and then paused, started to keep turning a little bit, fired another shot, and then spun. So either something didn't look right or something didn't feel right. Now he's going to run around the front and engage the swinger. It definitely seemed like it was a good thing. So there's one. And it looked like that second one was definitely late. So then he shot another one with it clearly visible. So probably good he took the third shot. Handled the steel. He did a good job. He did a very good job. So that's where we are right now with the videos. Quite a few. Jay's been taking quite a few this morning and this afternoon since he is unable to get the drone in the air. He's just doing a camera on a stick. The camera pole, the pole camera. So on that run, Riley Fox had 19 alphas and 5 Charlies and a time of 21.75 for a hit factor of 5.0575. Let's go. I'm actually going to go to stage 6. And in PCC, wow. Riley Fox was second overall to David Leake. David Leake had a heck of a run because, from what I can see, he's the only sub 20-second run on that stage for PCC. That's pretty impressive. He was 3 seconds faster than Riley. With 19 alphas, 5 Charlies. David Leake was 15 alphas, 9 Charlies. So he had 4 more Charlies, but 3 seconds is a lot of time. So it looks like we have Corey Messersmith up as well. So he is a PCC master. Let me see if his score has popped up here. I'm looking for Corey in the scores. That's just weird. Let me just type in the squad here. Oh, well, no wonder I had it on the wrong. Wow, Corey seemed to have had a very good run as well. So let's take a look at Corey now, assuming it's done processing. And it is. So again, here we are at Lake Cardinal.
Ready? Oh! I hate this. Umbrella.
I don't know. That swinger is moving pretty fast. I'm not sure if that second shot was on there. Now, I'll play it at half speed and then tell you what the scores were.
Are you ready? Oh! I hate this.
Somebody's having a problem. A little bit of delay on that third shot. Holy cow, hold on. That's a lot of water. Let me go back a little bit further. That's a lot of water. That's a rooster tail. Yeah, I think that second shot might have lagged behind the swinger there. I think that he did have a mic. So on that run, he was 17.64 seconds. So he was even a second faster than David Leake. The problem was he had 16 alphas, 6 Charlies, a Delta, and a mic. I think the mic came on that second shot on the swinger based on the video, but who knows? Still, good run. I mean, heck of a time. So that's good for third right now for PCC on that stage. We still have a few people still to shoot it. So we'll have to wait and see how it all plays out. But you still have Anthony Zabonic and Mark Schulte, Tegan Richmond, Corey Scheel. So they all still need to shoot it, as does David Richmond, who is also a masterclass PCC shooter. So Jay said he has uploaded a few more. There's Tegan. He said yep. All right. So here is, hold on a second. Well, I thought I had muted the microphone. Maybe I didn't. All right, here we go. Let's watch Tegan Richmond.
You ready? Stand by.
Interesting stage plan. Definitely different than everybody else. Let me see. Let me hit the refresh here. See if her score has come up yet. Do PCC. It has. All right. So let's watch this thing in slow-mo.
Are you ready? Stand by.
Very smart transitions, very snappy, right to the spot too. Very good with those transitions. Now, this is the interesting part. She starts backing up and engaging targets as she goes. As soon as she turns this corner here, she's going to get her gun on target and start engaging the paper. Right there. So if you look at where her feet are, she's just turned the corner. She's just going down the corridor here. Bang. It's a pretty quick mover, pretty quick swinger. So, but different, interesting that everybody else leaned around and got all the targets they could and then ran around the front of the stage and then engaged everything. Now, here's the interesting part. I've got to, wish there was a way to just change the screen that I'm sharing and not have to change everything. That would be nice. Because now I'm going to have to go back to the video screen at some point. But, so let's look here. This is what I'm getting at. So Tegan's time was 2170. Riley Fox's was 2175. So 5/100ths of a second difference. So statistically speaking, they're a tie. You'd have to go back and look at video footage to see who actually, if you didn't have a timer, to see who actually won, if it was a race, to see who won. But somewhere in there, Tegan hit a no shoot. So that's the difference in the score. But Tegan backed up on the left stem of the Y and then proceeded down the right stem of the Y, engaging targets as she went, whereas everybody else stayed at the tip of the left stem of the Y and then ran around the front to the right stem of the Y. Everybody did it that way. She did it different, and she had the same time as Riley Fox. I don't know which target is the no shoot. Maybe it was somewhere in the Y as she was moving, doing it a little different. I don't know. I don't know if using the same plan as everybody else would have mattered in that situation or not. So without being there and having shoot it or shot it, who knows? That is a question I'll have to ask Jay. But because everybody else shot those targets basically standing still in one position, so the risk of a no shoot is less due to the fact that you don't have movement affecting your sight picture. All right, so Jay said he uploaded Corey Shield with crazy iron sights. All right, so I am going to take that out before I do this video. Corey Shield. All right. Man, what a nasty day. Holy cow. All right, let's. All right. Video is up. And full speed.
Are you ready? Stand by.
Oh my gosh. I apologize.
Are you ready? Stand by.
Somebody's getting ready for PCC World Shoot. That's what those iron sights are. And again, he went around the front of the Y. He did not back down the stem and then go back out the right stem. So interesting. And I'm not. I think it's interesting that Tegan did it. Like I thought it was interesting that Kayla Mullen went outside of the Y when she ran it, meaning when Kayla Mullen from Hillsdale Community or Hillsdale College action shooting team, when she shot it, she didn't run down the Y. She came out this way and around. That's what I'm talking about. I'm trying to see if I can get my cursor bigger. That's what I'm talking about. Tegan is the only one I've seen go down the stem of the Y, backtrack while engaging targets as she's walking backwards, turn, start walking down the other stem while engaging these targets right here as she proceeds down the stem. So very, very interesting. Nobody has shot through here to engage the ones right there. They've all just waited. Let me see if there's any update. Oh, there is an update for Corey Shield in here. So let's watch his video again, and then I'll give you his scores, and we can talk about that. We're at half speed.
Are you ready? Stand by.
Who knew that his front sight could be bigger than an SRO? So it took him 2 shots on the steel on the left there, and I think I counted 3. Now I forgot how many I counted. I think 3 on the swinger. So let me go to Corey Shield by a large margin of 8.66%. So almost 9% over David Leake right now is the overall PCC leader for that stage. He shot that in 19.76 seconds, and he did it with 23 alphas and 1 Charlie. So this guy just shot iron sights on this stage with his PCC, and thus far we're still waiting on Mark Schulte, so things can change, but he put a big gap between himself and David Leake of more than 8.5 percentage points on that. So if you just go with that, that's 10.4 points over the next closest competitor. But we'll have to see how Mark does with that as well. Let me see if I can see who's left to shoot. Looks like there's only 3 people left: Ray Smiga, Anthony Zabonik, and Mark Schulte. So, who did we go with? So it should be Mark should be next, followed by Ray, followed by Anthony. And then that should conclude. Yeah, that should. Yeah, Mark should be going right after Corey. So now we're just waiting on Mark to run the stage. But Jay was telling me that this stage and the one with the 3 different dynamic targets. I'm going to start calling them dynamic. So paper is static, the steel is static, but then you have dynamic targets. So like drop turners, bobbers, swingers, holy monkeys. The new one that Ike posted, the guillotine, those are all dynamic targets. They're all moving. They're changing their position. They're not staying still. But Jay was telling me there's a stage where you have 3 shooting positions. Each has their own dynamic target with an activator, and they have that, like you see here. There we go. Now you can see it where my cursor is. They each have these little tent or canvas roofs to help, or tarps to help keep them out of the rain, out of the weather, so they have less effect on the target itself. So very interesting. But he was saying that it wasn't conducive for drone flight to cover those stages because of those tarps over top. They kind of block your view. You'd have to be at the right angle above the shooter and back far enough to look down in. So you'd probably have to back off a little bit, find the proper angle, and then zoom in so that you basically crop everything else out, put the shooter in the stage. It looks like, Mark Schulte is up. Let's see if it's working. And it is. Okay. I have not updated Practice Score Competitor app. So we're going to watch this regular speed, then we'll watch it slow-mo, and I'll look up the score and see how he finished. So here is Mark Schulte, stage 6, Bigfoot Brass.
Are you ready? Stand by.
Ooh, interesting. I don't know. I'm beginning to not like the idea of 2 shots on the swinger in a single pass, because I've just seen a lot of misses and other stuff. So, but I'm not a PCC grandmaster. I'm not at their level. So, but even those that did it, even Corey Shield, who won the stage so far, fired at more than 1 pass. So I don't know. We'll have to check. I'm going to change this back to 5. We're going to reset it. But before I do that, I do want to take a quick look at the scores and see. Okay, so his score has updated.
Ready. Stand by.
Extra shot. Extra shot. So he's just probably being safe. I don't know. 2, 1, 2 each, 2 each, 2 each. Man, he's not firing many extra shots except right at the very beginning. This is what I'm talking about. Wow. All right. It looks like he fired 2 at that last piece of steel, and other than the beginning, he really didn't fire any extra shots. So, very interesting. So, what was his score? He is now 3rd overall on the stage as we speak. His time was 2016, so very good time, with 20 alphas and 4 charlies for a hit factor of 5.5556. It's like 556, but with an extra 5, 5556. So that's good enough for 3rd. He only had 4 charlies, so that second shot on the mover was a hit, or on the swinger, on the dynamic target was a hit. Good job, Mark. All right, let's see if we have anything for Anthony. Yep. Let's see if it is processed. And it has. Okay. Set that back there. We're at normal speed. I already know what his score is, so let's see what happens.
Are you ready? Yep. Stand by.
They almost got him on a false start. Oh, he pulled a Kayla Mullen. Boy, he's got... Oops. Okay. Quick. That man is quick. Very interesting. He pulled a Kayla Mullen. When we do this at half speed, which I'm going to do right now, I'll explain the Kayla Mullen. And I'm calling it the Kayla Mullen because she's the first person I saw do it. All right. He has very quick transitions, and he's quick to move.
Are you?
But watch at the beginning. The pause for the beep, I guess, is longer than he was expecting. So there's a little bit of a, I want to go.
Ready? Yep. Stand by.
All right. So like Mark, he fired 3 shots to a target on the right and 3 shots to that target with the tucks. And this is what I'm talking about. This is the Kayla Mullen. He's going to run this way and around. And this is where Jay was telling me he thought it was interesting because he said, when you come in this way, the targets are, other than the no shoot right there, everything's to the right and far to the right. So he felt that coming in outside like that and swinging in is actually not a bad idea. It's pretty good. It sets you up a little better coming into position, especially to engage targets over to the right. Now, unfortunately, the Kayla Mullen does not prevent you from getting wet. I don't think anything does at this point. Wait a second. Did you see that last step? Watch. Oh. Like everyone else who, other than Tegan, he's running around the front. So he's the only one that copied Kayla Mullen going around. So far, nobody's copied Tegan backing up and then going down the other stem of the Y. It's coming in. Oop. All right, so he fired 2 shots on the first pass and then 2 shots on the second. And I'm going to guess he was tracking the target because the first shot seemed to be into the target, kept tracking, fired, pulled the trigger again, and the second round went into the hard cover. When it came back up for the next pass, he then engaged it with 2 more shots. And boom, 1 shot on steel. Game over. Okay, so let's look at Anthony's score. Anthony was second on that stage. His time was 19:37. So about 0.8 of a second faster than Mark. Now, what almost bit him in the butt, he was able to hang on to second, was a delta. He had a single delta. So he had 19 alpha for Charlie, whereas Mark had 20 alpha for Charlie. And then you had 1 delta for Anthony. So that almost erased the 0.8 of a second faster time. They ended up being 0.4 of a point difference between the two of them, with Anthony being first. But Corey Shield had such a great run on that stage. He is still 7.63 percentage points ahead of Anthony on that stage. That's crazy. I mean, he was 23 alphas, 1 Charlie, in a sub 20-second run. And there's only been 3. Oh, no, there's been 4 sub 20-second runs. He was one of them. All right, let's see. All right, Matthew Zellers. All right, so Matthew Zellers is another. He is a pistol shooter. Nice to see another pistol shooter up here. Let me entertain you. All right, so we're on stage 6. Where are you, Mr. Oh, combined. Dang it. Okay. Zellers. So Zellers, Cromwell, and Alex Tex Kate are the only pistol shooters. So Matthew Zellers is A-class carry optics. And it appears as though he is military.
Are you ready? Yes. Stand by.
Okay. So we'll watch that again. I don't see his time though. Let me try something different. Let me go to stage 6. Let me go to carry optics. Oh, there's going to be a lot of people in this one. No, let's just go back to combined squad 304. And I'll just click on them. Okay, there we go. Now we have a time and we have a score. All right, so let's watch that at half speed.
Are you ready? Yes. Stand by.
Okay, 4 shots. 2 shots. Reloading. So far, I haven't seen any extra shots. Not on steel. Not. On, I think he just lost a magazine in the lake. Did you see that? He lost a little bit of time there. Whoop. Where? Let me come back. Watch as he transitions from here to the steel over here. He's gonna transition to this target and then realize, oh shoot, I've already shot it. I need to go over here. As a matter of fact, he even paused on this steel and then over. So I'm not sure, something messed up his train of thought. All right, I'm going to switch scenes because I see Mr. Jay Slater in the house. Jay,
Hello.
howdy.
Oh boy, it is
You don't look any drier than you did earlier.
no, it is still cold and wet here. The updated weather report is that things have not changed very much. So as I guess you've been seeing, we just wrapped up stage 6 with squad 308 and 304 rather. I believe they'll be on their way down here to stage 1 in a minute. But I see a squad ahead of them. I'm not sure if they're now they're rolling out. So it looks like 304 is going to have a nice clean run here onto Bay 1 when they get down this direction.
Okay. Now, there were a couple of interesting things about that squad on 6. Someone pulled a Kayla Mullen. Anthony Zabonic pulled a
I
Kayla
saw that.
Mullen.
Yeah, yeah. Yep.
And Tegan Richmond did something I still haven't seen anybody else do. She
Yeah, the
backtracked on the Y.
backing out on that one. Yeah, I think there's a reasonable case to be made for that if you're planning on staying in the Y. Coming in on the big popper for to activate the swinger, it's very close. It's a pretty forgiving target, and then swinging around, like backing out on that target. That's a nice clean one, especially with a rifle and a dot. Although Tegan, I believe, did wing a no shoot on that, which is why she sent the makeup.
Okay, yeah, I knew she had a no shoot. I didn't know where. I had no idea where it was, but okay,
Yep.
that does kind of make sense there. Yeah, I mean, it was interesting. The no shoot hurt, but I mean, otherwise her time was good. The rest of her hits were good. She had 22 alphas, 2 Charlies.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
so what?
so in minor, a miss is just 5 Charlies. So it's basically the same thing as a 17 alpha 7 Charlie run, which given a good time is still feels like a pretty decent number.
Yeah. So what did you think of the Corey Shields setup?
It's interesting. I don't know if it comes through super well on camera, but it looks almost like I don't know, like I've seen bow sights that look like that with like a big outer ring and then a glowy center post.
Yep. Well, and I assume that that's the gun he's going to be running at IPSC World Shoot.
That is correct. Yeah.
So that's what I figured. Okay, and
I'm curious how
he's
it's going
running
to.
irons.
Yeah. So I'm curious how it's going to work with there's a lot of distant, like very distant shooting at the PCC World Shoot. I know the kind of like the average stage has a furthest target distance of 40 or 50 meters. The longest ones are in the like 80s or 90s, which you can do with iron sights, but it seems like they seem a little bit kind of speed focused. So I'm curious how they work at longer ranges. Like maybe I'll ask Corey when they come by again.
Okay, yeah, it'd be interesting to know. Get his thoughts. I know I saw Max Leo Grandis's video where he was disappointed there weren't as many dynamic targets as he would
Yeah,
like to see. So who knows how the distance will end up playing out?
that's for sure. It's tough to say until you get there.
Right, until the stages are on the ground. So
Mhm. I do. So I looked through the PCC World Shoot stages. They're now up on the PCC World Shoot website, and it's difficult to tell exactly how the scale works out. They're clearly like close and far targets, but I don't know if they've been drawn exactly to the scale they're going to be on the
scale.
ground.
Okay. I will say this too. I pointed it out when I was running these videos, these latest set of videos that you did on stage 6, because we had Tanner and Kayla from this earlier this morning, and these guys, there was gravel in the Y this morning.
Yeah.
Now it's all water. It's Lake
Yeah, it's
Cardinal on stage 6.
yes, exactly. It's gotten pretty bad. It's the deepest water I think I've seen since the 23 IPSC Nationals. Even the big rain at Talladega, either their bays drain better or it just wasn't as much rain over as much time. And that of course being the 2024 Handgun Nationals. I'm referring to that second one.
I do feel like it's still a little sandier down there, so the drainage is a little better.
Yeah. Well, we
So,
kind of got that classic upper Midwestern clay under under the gravel here. So
right.
once it gets wet, it just kind of comes up through the gravel.
Yeah.
And if you're walking on the clay, then you end up with like 4 pounds of clay hanging off of each foot as you walk around.
As I was playing the video for Matthew Zellers on half speed, I saw him change mags as he went around the front of the Y, and that mag went right into a deep part of the lake there. I was like,
Hmm.
oh, he just lost a mag.
Yeah, I think I put Alex Cates up just now, and I'm pretty sure he dropped one in that same spot, kind of in the middle of the Y.
Oh,
Ooh, that's gonna want to
metal
clean that one
detector
out, I
up.
think. Yeah, yeah.
I need a
Walk with
magnet
a
and a
big,
metal detector.
yep, big magnet as you walk down that as well. So you probably come up with a couple of mags at this point.
Right. When it dries out in a couple of days, people are going to be able to make money. They can sell them on eBay.
Yep.
Yeah, Alex Cates is up. Okay. Well, hold
Yeah,
on a
let's watch
second.
his real quick. I see squad 304 rolling in, so we've got a couple of minutes before they get started shooting. We'll take a look at Kate's and talk about it, and then I'll head back and get more of them.
Are you able to see it? Are you able to see the screen?
No, I'm going by memory.
Okay. I'm going to play it so they can hear it.
Stand by.
Oh, malfunction.
Yeah, little malfunction for Alex here.
Yeah, right at the start. Okay, transition left, going down the stem. Lost one magazine in the lake. Oh. Okay. Well, he lost his magazine in the left side of the Y, whereas Matthew Zimmer's
Oh,
lost his out in the front of the Y at the top of the Y.
yeah.
But going back to the other videos there, I didn't think that Corey was going to have, I'm not Corey, I'm sorry, Mark Schulte was not going to have as good a score as he did, because he's the only one who took 2 shots on a single pass on that swinger. And that swinger's not slow.
Yeah, that was brave.
Very brave, but he got it. So,
Yeah.
I mean, he only had
So,
4 Charlies.
so on the stage planning note, actually, I talked to Mark a little bit before, like while they were on their walkthrough, and he said that if the weather was nicer, he probably would have gone around the left side of the stage, like Anthony and Kayla did as well. But he wanted to stay in the area so as not to worry about tripping over fault lines on the way back in.
Oh, wow, very interesting.
Yeah, so they're pretty well disguised up there now as the rain keeps coming down. On the right front of the stage, the right tip of the Y, they are basically underwater up there. So an understandable thing. I think it was Zellers, I'm pretty sure, who as he was coming in, he actually missed because it's difficult to see where the fault lines are to kind of bring his foot back in and find it in the water.
Well, even Anthony Zabonic, when he pulled the Kayla Mullen and went outside, when he was coming in back into the shooting area, he did like a goose step with his right foot going into the shooting area, like he was afraid he was going to trip over something.
Mm-hmm.
So, I get it. Yeah, I didn't even consider the fact that. I'm gonna. Will you stop it? So the left side. By the time Alex was shooting, you can actually see the fault line on the left side again. But yeah, the
Mhm.
fault line on the right side is completely gone. You cannot see it at all.
Yeah, I'll say it has slowed down a little tiny bit, but it's still, I'd say a moderate rain.
It's not dry.
Yeah, we'll see. It might still be underwater tomorrow morning, depending on how the evening goes. All
Oh
right, I
yeah.
see Squad 304 beginning their official walkthrough down there. So I think I am. Well, are they? Or are there some? Or the ROs replacing bags? All right, I think I will probably. Well, no. Before I go and uh, find out, I'll before I leave for sure, I'll go find out what's happening there and see if I can stay on the line a little bit longer.
Okay.
But
I'll
I'll be
stay
right
in
back.
this scene. Go ahead. So you can see right there when I'm talking about what Jay and I were just talking about. That whole fault line is gone. That's where he was saying Matthew Zellers had to feel around with his foot to find the fault line because he was outside of it. It looks like it's here. So, but if you're not looking down at the fault line, I could see where it would be very difficult to know if you were in or out. Now over here, it's more well defined. Um, but
It does look like
yeah,
some stage maintenance is ongoing there, so I will stay on a little bit longer.
okay. Let's see here.
It's nice standing here under the hatch of my car. I'm slightly sheltered from the wind and rain, which is a welcome change from the past 45 minutes or so.
Okay. I just ran the video at 0.25 speed, and you can see Alex's magazine, but it is still like 75% underwater. Oh my gosh. Wow. That is sad. Now I need to go back to, it was Matthew Zellers. I want to check that one real quick because I know. Okay, here we go. I'm going to run this at a quarter speed. Shooting. I'm actually going to mute the volume too. So he's. Come on. Well, he had to shift his feet too before he left the Y.
Yep.
There goes the. Oh my gosh. That mag is 100% submerged in water. You cannot see it. Wow. He probably had to go back through with his foot to find it.
Oh, kind of insult to
Wow.
injury there.
Yeah, exactly. Holy cow.
I will say, as far as the weather goes, I'm up to 4 layers now on top.
Good Lord.
Yep.
The chill just keeps coming through, huh?
Yeah, I think I'm pretty well set now. It doesn't get much colder than this.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. So
I'm
I was
trying to.
saying to some people earlier on this afternoon that I hadn't actually really like deep cleaned my car since the winter match season, so I had a bunch of random sweatshirts lying around in the back seat, which turned out to be perfect for a day like today.
Yeah, thank goodness.
Hmm.
Yeah, it has gone up slightly in temperature. It's up to 52, but feels like 46.
I believe it.
Yeah. I don't know why you can't fly the drone. Your cloud ceiling's 1,800 feet.
Yeah, I mean, if not for this water falling from the sky. So I don't recall if we've actually mentioned it live yet, but I do have some ideas for how I might be able to fix that. Where I'm standing right now, it's dry enough for the controller and all the other electronics. So the only thing that really needs to be waterproof is the drone, and there are some options for potentially getting one waterproof enough to fly in light rain. So that's something that may feature in future editions of Practical Shooting Live. We'll have to see how the budget turns out, and well, and I suppose if that product works.
Right. Yeah, and I'm trying to remember. I had seen some that they'll actually make your drone float. So like even if you're flying
Yeah,
over water. So I don't
with
remember
like a
what
a set
they
of
were
landing
though.
skids or like inflatable floats of some kind that you can land on.
Well, it
I think
also
I
it
don't.
almost
Go on.
I think there's one that encases it and it's like a dry suit material.
Yeah,
I just
all
don't
right. So
know what
that
that would do for heating.
yeah, it'd be the cold and rainy days drone. I see Squad 304 has now begun their official walkthrough, so I'm going to sign off from here and get my camera stick ready to go again and capture Squad 304 on stage 1. I think is probably my final scheduled stop of the day.
All right, sounds good. See you in a
All
little
right,
bit.
I will. Yep, see you soon.
All right, so that's all the videos. Let me just confirm that that's all the videos that I have. Yes, it is. All right, so while we wait for Jay to get some more video of that squad on stage 1, I know we have some other. Oh, we have John Vlieger on one also, and Dustin Potter. So we'll have something to compare with too for the pistol guys. But while we wait for Jay to do that, I am going to. I'm going to put up the screen that says we're taking a break. It's probably going to be about 10 to 15 minutes, and I will be back. So I'll be back in like 10 to 15 minutes, and hopefully we'll have some video and some scores to talk about. All right. I'm back. Jay's got some video up, so now we've got some stuff to talk about live from the Buckeye Blast. I'm actually in the process too, while I was waiting, trying to put some videos together so everybody can see the difference between like Corey Shield, Anthony Zabonic, and Mark Schulte on stage 6. This, however, is stage 1, and this is Corey Messersmith. So, without any further ado, let's play Mr. Messersmith's video.
Are you ready? Stand by.
Interesting. Of all the stage runs I've seen, he did something I haven't seen yet. So let me put up. Oh, wrong. Where did it go? I don't see practice score competitor app on. Maybe I closed it out. Where'd it go? There we go. Okay. So let me check stage 1 and let's click PCC. Let's see if Corey has a score. Nope, he doesn't have a score on his individual scores, and it's not up for that stage and the overall yet either. So, well, that's interesting. All right, while we still wait for that, let's look at what he did here. Let's go back. Let's go half speed and let's run it.
Are you ready?
I do want to say I think this is probably the best looking stage we've seen so far with all the rain, meaning the footing seems to be about as good as you can get.
Ready. Stand by.
This is what I'm talking about. He runs up and engages that. Nobody has done that. Paper, steel, steel, 1 for 1. Now he got confused there. I think he was considering taking this from right here because he paused right here and then continued to the right. Let's see if we can. So here he's engaging this as he comes into position. Right there. And oh. So he went 1 for 1 on steel. June Kim would be excited to see him in a Summit City jersey. But he seemed to have paused on this target from further back, but I think all you can see is the very left edge of the target. I don't think you can see enough to actually engage it. So, but something caused him to do that. I don't know if it's just who knows what it was. But so we have Tegan Richmond. All right, Tegan Richmond, stage 1. She did something unique on the last stage, so we'll see if she does anything unique here. Bigfoot tracks. Ooh. Okay. So we'll have to look at this one again and that last shooting position. It looks like when she came in, she was having to stand on it with her heels. And then when she tried to take off, she kind of slid a little bit. I'm sure those fault lines are slickery. But let's take a look at that real quick. Slow-mo. She basically did the same plan as everybody else at this point. So she's running up. One for one on the far steel. This is what Corey skipped, was that position right there. Oh, extra shot on steel. Now, watch her position coming in here. She's all the way in the back of the shooting box, standing on the fault line. And you can see her foot slid as soon as she tried to move. So there you go. Okay. Just slowed her down a little bit there because then you've got to replant your foot. So let's see. Let me. All right. So for the people who have shot thus far, Corey Messersmith has the stage lead. Now we still have Anthony Zabonik. Ray Smiga disqualified. Wow. Okay. We still have Anthony Zabonik, Mark Schulte, Riley Fox still to shoot this, but still, I mean, that's a great run for Corey Messersmith. Corey Shield was 7th on this stage. Once we get the video in, we'll have to look at it. I can see. All right, it's up, but let me talk about Corey Messersmith and Teagan real quick. Teagan had a time of 24:42, 25 alphas, 5 Charlies, and a Mike. So that puts her at 6th for the stage in PCC momentarily. Corey Messersmith was at 20.42. Nobody even close to that time. I'm just confirming here, make sure I'm not talking out my buttocks. No, nobody's even close to that time. It's about a second and a half is the closest time to him. Slower. And he had 26 alphas and 5 Charlies. So he crushed it for a hit factor of 7.1009er. So Teagan is currently 6th. Now let's play Corey, and then we'll talk about his results. Let's see what we've got. Now remember, he's doing irons because he is shooting irons, prepping for IPSC, PCC, and Mini Rifle World Shooter or Mini Me World Shooter or something. Okay, not bad. You can see. Oh, I did it again. Are you kidding me? Sorry about that. Let's zoom ahead. All right, here we go. Looks like a smooth running gun, that's for sure. Seems to run very well. So let's drop this down to half speed and take a look. And all right. Is that okay? 2 on paper. Miss. Steal. Steal. 2 on paper. Okay. Hits the one on the right. Now this is what I was talking about. Look at those sights. Interesting. They're very high profile. 2 and 2. 2. Steal. 2 and 2. 2. 2 and 2. And 2. Everything was 2 down there. Okay, there you go. Very high profile sights. He is 7th. Like Tegan, he had a mic. His time was almost a second faster than her, but he had 3 more Charlies. So Tegan is 6th, Corey is 7th. The difference in points between the two was 1.2. So Corey definitely crushing it. Oh, looky here. Now we have Mark Schulte. Let me hit refresh. All right. I didn't even notice before when I looked at the results. Corey Messersmith, I said he crushed the stage. That might actually be quite the understatement because he obliterated the stage. Let me play Mark's and then and that'll lead into why.
Are you ready?
Mark Schulte, Bigfoot Brass. All right. So I am assuming by his body language he was not happy with that run. That's how I see it. But let's watch it now at half speed. And I'll just tell you now, he has nothing worse than a Charlie. So here we go. Excalibur ammunition. Good stuff. Going to the right. Three on paper. 1 for 1 on steel. 2 on paper. So far, so good. And then, I don't know what happened, but he's like, oh. So he had to put a third. 3. And he did the same thing as Corey did. Interesting. Let's back that up a little bit. Now watch as he comes in. He's going to pause in here before he keeps going. I don't think he was happy either with that last second. As he's swinging across to engage this, he paused in here, even though he didn't have a shot, and then he had to move up to take the targets back here and this target here. So maybe that's what it was. But He's second on the PCC standings for that stage. Corey Messersmith is first. Mark Schulte is second. David Leake is third. Now, here's the thing. So Corey obviously has 100% for PCC as he's the leader for that stage. Mark Schulte is at 82.43%. There aren't many people left to shoot, and he was 4.01 seconds slower than Corey with almost the same exact hits. He actually had one more Charlie. So while Corey had 26 and 5, Mark had 25 and 6, but a 4-second difference in time. That tells you how fast Corey moved through that stage, that he is just that much faster than the others. All right, so we've got Anthony Zabonic up. Jay is telling me that the video for Anthony is up. So let's take a look at that. Oh, wait a minute. I need to go back to that stage. There we go. Oh, breaking news. We have another shooter who has bowed out of the match. Alex Kate has bowed out of the match. I'm actually surprised we haven't had more. I mean, based on these videos, I know everybody was calling Wampler and Grosby soft, but I think after watching these videos and seeing how much water and how absolutely soaked people are, I'm surprised more people haven't bowed out. I can see why the PCC guys would not. If I'm them, I'm not bowing out either. I'm staying the entire time because I have a world shoot coming up in a month, and I want real live practice / training, and there's nothing better than something like this to gauge your mental and physical preparedness for conditions like this and having to compete and stay at that mindset that the weather doesn't matter. So everybody else, though, who cares? The World Shoot for handguns not till later in the year, like September. So who cares? So Mark still had a very good run. But Corey's run was just so freaking amazing that everybody's way behind him. All right, so we have Anthony Zabonic. So let's watch Anthony's. He's another PCC shooter, masterclass. He did really well on the last stage. Let's see how he does here.
Are you ready? Stand by.
Oh. That's twice now I've seen Anthony use a technique that someone else has used. He used the Messersmith on this one, and he used the Kayla Mullen on the other one. Now, he may not have seen the Kayla Mullen one, but I'm just calling it that because she did it first. So let's run this back. I do know the results, but let's run this thing back and let's see what we've got. Here we go.
Are you ready? Stand by.
Runs up and engages the paper over here. It's actually not a bad idea. It's a really good plan. Because now all he has to do is run all the way to the end. Now, if you noticed before, a couple of the shooters had delays when they were transitioning from over here all the way over to the far right, they were pausing in the middle and then moving to the right to hit that steel. He didn't have any of that. And I like how he did this one where after he engaged this array, he took a half step forward, engaged this, and then it put him in a perfect spot for this. Whereas I've seen people engage this, turn, move a little bit, shoot, move a little bit, shoot. I like how he did that. So let's talk about the results. In PCC division, he is 7th on this stage thus far. Time was good, 22:33. That's 2.1 seconds faster than Mark Schulte. However, the hits are where he's hurting, where he had 16 alphas, 14 Charlies, and a Delta. So that's where he got hurt. He's still not all that far behind. There's only a 7.5 point difference between him and Mark Schulte, but Corey Messersmith, who is leading this stage and probably has won this stage for PCC shooters, he's 17.23 points ahead in number 2. So that's a large sum of points right there. But so far, so good. Everybody's looking good, especially considering the conditions. All right, so we have Matthew Zellers. Now he's a pistol shooter, so he's on his own on this one. What I can do, so let's do this. I'm going to replay John Vliegers real quick.
Are you ready?
And then I will play Matthew Zellers, so at least we have something to compare with.
Stand by.
John is very good about maneuvering that gun around because he moved up in right up next to the barrel before and then he didn't move at all. All right, so let's see how Matthew Zellers does it.
Are you ready? Yeah. Stand by.
I almost feel like maybe there's something wrong with his leg. The way he's there, I don't know. Maybe it's just the way I'm looking at it, but there's a lot of movement down here in this last shooting box. So let's slow it down and now let's watch it.
Are you ready? Yeah. Stand by.
All right, so let's one for one on steel. No makeups on paper. Now he's got there you go. He's already engaged the other one. A little bit of a pause again. Then he finds a steel. No makeups there. Drops the mag. It is visible. It's not in the lake. So he's right side, left side, Now he's got to move forward 2 full steps. I'm telling you, that leg doesn't look right. So I hope he didn't injure himself at some point or something. But let's see if we can find his results. Do combined. Now let me 304. Matthew Zellers. Okay. Matthew's right behind Corey. I mean, a good distance back, but he's right behind him. So he had 17 alphas, 14 Charlies, and a time of 29:39 for a hit factor of 4.3212. So not too shabby. Looks like we're still waiting on Riley Fox. And disregard. We have Riley Fox. Oh, hold on a second. Mr. Slater, how are you?
I'm back.
Yes, you are. Wetter than ever.
Yeah, it's kind of every time I come back on camera, I'm like increasingly drenched. It's been
Yeah.
the story of the day so far, and like I said, I feel a little bad for the competitors. I guess I'm maybe out in the rain a little bit more than they are because I'm behind them on every competitor, behind every shooter more or less with the camera. But even so, it's not a great day to be shooting.
No. Terrible.
The description like transcendently awful comes to mind for the weather we're having today. But I think I don't know. It's maybe one of those I'll look back on and think it was a good time in that way that rough experiences often do in hindsight.
So I guess Alex left just due to weather as well, huh?
Yeah, I didn't catch that conversation entirely. I think I heard him say something about how something about that out of the kind of the corner of my ear, so to speak, while I was getting somebody else on video. But he wasn't in the order this time around, and I didn't see him on the stage, so I guess he did.
Okay. I gotcha. I was saying on the stream, I'm not surprised. I'm more surprised more people haven't, and maybe more have that we're just not aware of. So if
Yeah,
I'm
I
a
think it's the parking lot down in Zone 2 was looking a little bit light even in the morning when when I was with, or not in the morning, even at the beginning of the afternoon when I was with Squad 308 down there.
okay, yeah. I mean, if I'm a PCC guy and I'm looking and I'm going to the World Shoot in a month, I'm shooting, or not even a month. I'm probably staying and competing regardless of what the conditions are in order to prep for that. But
Yeah, it's good
everybody
practice
else,
certainly.
yeah, everybody else, who cares?
Yeah, no, like it's maybe maybe not unusual, but a case where I think the staff, as I guess we said on stream, are going to come out looking very good because we got the better weather I think by a substantial margin.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dry.
Yes. Well, not even totally dry. There was some rain. Just it was, um, I believe one patch on each day as opposed to just all the time like we're having for the Saturday competitors.
Right. And the
That's and
sad thing is,
even with that. So even with that, the scores I saw, John Vlieger's about 5% ahead of Colin Maxon in open, and I believe for the overall.
yeah, he's shooting crazy good. So he's doing very well.
Well, like I said in the notes, he is. I think you could make a very solid argument. He's the second best open shooter in the country right now. So
There you go.
yeah,
And yeah, so he's definitely going to be ready for World Shoot if he can maintain this or improve it. I mean,
yeah,
he's going to be a
he's looking
force.
very tuned up for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, he is. He's not looking rusty at all. So, any other breaking news or anything else going on?
Nothing that I knew of. I've heard over the grapevine a couple of tales of DQs from slips and falls in the wet, but not entirely unexpected, I suppose.
Right. Well, and when I reviewed the video with Tegan, she could have been one of those where
Yeah,
she
very
moved
much
in.
so.
Yeah, she moved into that last shooting area and was standing on the fault line. And when she tried to move, her foot went right out from under her. So
Hmm.
that was a close one. So it's
Yeah,
it's
good save
slickery.
on her part for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Anything else you want to cover before?
I think that's about all I've got from my end. I expect to. Well, my plan is to head back to the hotel now. I think some of these competitors still have 2 stages left to shoot. I was following 304, and I think they started on stage 4, so they've got 2 and 3 now before they're done. Uh, so a long night for them, and probably a long night for me, but in a different way. I'm gonna, like I said, head back to the hotel and get some editing done. Hopefully, put some highlights together from stuff I recorded today.
Throw some clothes in a dryer?
Yeah,
Yeah.
put the hotel hair dryer in my shoes, like I usually do. Odd matches like this.
All right.
Yep.
There you go.
That's actually
All
gonna be
right,
the third
Jay.
time. The third time I've had the hotel hair dryer in the shoes in not too long a time span. So
Wow.
yeah, the joys of rainy matches.
All right. Well, I'm going to review this last video that you uploaded with Riley Fox, and I'm going to close out the stream for today.
Yeah, let's take a look at him.
All right. Let me go to that. There we go.
Are you ready? I miss it, man. It's got so. Come on, Riley!
Something else about these videos too. So when I watched the John Vlieger video before I played Matthew Zeller's because I wanted to see Matthew after watching a pistol guy.
Yeah.
And even compared to everybody else, John, John has gotten it when the movement is different. Like in that box all the way up front, that shooting box, John went to one spot and shot everything from one spot.
Yep.
Whereas
Yeah. He actually.
everybody else is moving around in that box.
Hmm. John
So
John brought that up when I talked to him. He said, you can do this whole thing from 2 spots or like one spot with a big lean. So why would I move anywhere else? And that's what he did, and I think it turned out very well for him.
yeah, paid off for sure. So he's definitely, man, he's reached that spot, you need to be when you're
Yes.
prepping for the biggest title of your life. I like to run this thing back at half speed. I am going to turn off the volume though. Now, Corey Messersmith started something here. He started a trend where
Yes.
they're running forward and taking that side shot and then running over to the far right.
Hmm. I think it's a very clever way to blend that position. So you
Yeah.
come into the shooting area, you're kind of facing that direction anyway because you want to go to that right corner first. And if you've got the round count for it, why not pop up there real quick, take the 2 shots on a fairly close open target, and then get on with the rest of the stage. That gives you, I think, a very clean run from that back right corner up to the front of the first shooting area, where you can get again the remaining stuff from right there.
100% agree. There's something else I noted too with all these videos you've been uploading. The center portion of that stage, when everybody gets down to the Excalibur banner and they shoot the target on the left and then they transition to the right, to the steel. For whatever reason, a bunch of them are pausing in the middle before they get to the steel, and then they continue to the steel. I don't know what is messing with their mind or if there's just something with their stage plan, but more than one person, I'd say at least three
Yeah.
people I've seen pause in that area.
So I did notice that as well. That the popper they're going for there, there's a very narrow window where it's visible from. On like basically right, you've got to be right on the edge of that Excalibur wall to get a good full look at it. So I think what's happening is people are either a little bit too far to the left, they've got to shift back to the right in some fashion, or they don't realize that or they think it's further to the right than it is because it's also fairly straight down range, a little bit off to the right as opposed to hard right like the rest of the targets from that position. So I think it's one of those two things, either like a slight positioning error or a slight over transition coming back to it.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. Great videos, Jay.
Thanks. Like I said, I've always enjoyed how like the camera on a stick is probably the lowest tech thing in the arsenal. It consistently makes some of the most interesting videos.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
Yep. Yep.
Agree. All right. Well, we can call this stream a day, and we'll get back at it in the morning.
Yeah, I think based on the weather forecast I've seen, it's likely to look very similar to today. Hopefully, we get some breaks in the weather, so we get some additional drone stuff. But if not, I think we had a pretty good one today too. And I guess we will see you tomorrow in either case.
All right, Jay. Go back to the hotel, get dry, get warm, and we'll see everybody in the morning.